So in the first part, we focus on education at schools and high schools. Now we're going to focus on education at universities. This is why Noelia, a part-time lecturer or a former part-time lecturer at the National University of Singapore, will explain all the system and how it's structured. So first, we will explain how is the system structured in Singapore regarding universities.
Okay, I will say that the main difference here when you reach university is like first, if you come from being a Singaporean and reaching finally university through the express route and passing your A levels, that will be like what we do. It's not selectividad anymore now. They call it now ESTA, I think, in Spain.
I think I'm way too old.
Yes, I'm more. then when you pass this exam, then you will reach university.
Mm-hmm.
However, in Singapore, because at the end, although it's a very young country, the universities are really in the top ranking of Southeast Asia and some, world, lists in top universities, right? But in this case, NUS, that is one of the most known ones. The system is like could be like an American or international system. They don't follow all the same system as in Europe. However, if you come from a university in Europe, you can always transfer, some subjects and then, keep studying here. There are many cases of students that they are coming here to do PhDs because NUS is very famous on that and they invest on this. Then they are always open to receive people that they know a lot and they are ready to share this knowledge with the students from here. We have many cases of Spanish that they have moved here to do PhDs, either in biology or, is pretty much on the reign of on the section of science and technologies because they really want to invest on that. Then you will find teachers and students that they come here to work for NUS. At your question of is difference between the system of Spain, I would say yes, in terms when we talk about public system, okay, like NUS, they really invest on, students or like, scholarships to get PhDs, or even they bring the opportunity to bring a very known professor in order to make their courses better.
And in terms of professors, are there any main differences between the way of teaching in Spain at universities and in Singapore?
Well, I have experience as a student myself teaching, and in this case also being a student. I study here in SMU, and I think and I'm studying now for UNIR, which is a Spanish university. I would say the main difference I'm finding is I think Spanish universities, they should open more into be more practical. Sometimes the quantity of theory is a lot, and it will be fantastic to see how to transfer all this, academic knowledge into something more factual that you could use later on at your job. And I think this is the bridge gap that they should improve. But again, this is my perspective. My experience here at the universities is like, as teachers, we have like each semester a report where our students, they rank our classes.
Wow.
And I thought that was fantastic because it was a way of showing, woo, okay, I'm doing well, or woo, okay, I need to improve.
But no pressure.
No pressure. The truth is no pressure, because sometimes it's like, it's not that something is going to happen because you are not delivering properly. At the end, you want to do your job good. It's just, you will see good feedback sometimes. Oh, look, this worked. Or look, this maybe that I thought was working, I should maybe tune it and do it different. Then I thought that was a very good tool that they do here. At the same time, in the Spanish universities, the classes sometimes are massive because it's a public system. Of course, we have also private universities, right? And I think those universities are known and being well known because some of them are like, i.e., they are partners with SMU, for example. Also here you have other international universities like INSEAD, and you have also ESSEC, and you have a lot of business MBAs that they are being placed here too. Then again, the range of opportunities to study is very good.
Yeah, so you have talked about a gap maybe between Spain with the amount of the piles of books that we have to memorize,
Yes.
and maybe in Singapore is maybe more practical. But is there a real gap in terms of quality of education?
I would not say it's the quality of education. I will say sometimes it's more like, because of course we cannot generalize. In Spain, we also have private institutions that they might invest on bringing in professors, right?
Mm-hmm.
But however, when we talk about the public system, we have wonderful people working there, but it will be good sometimes to help them or support them into becoming more exposed to other things. And at the same time, it's true, we need to go through some theory, because we need to go through some theory. But as you know, your degree might be 4 years, it will be good to have a mix of practicality and also, theory.
Exactly. And well, now society is really fast-paced and we have technology and digitalization. What kind of degrees are more important in these recent years?
I think Singapore is opening right to any technology, or even the roles, right? Even when they opt to give visas, they are very open to engineers and technical jobs and technological, companies. At the same time, is where they want to invest. This is why students, they are seeing there is a demand in the market, and they are moving towards this, getting MBAs in finance, getting MBAs in technologies, and also in being an entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
This is where they are moving towards, and this is where we see the demand. Yeah,
exactly. And do you feel that the government and universities support teachers and professors at university in a way?
In here in Singapore?
Here in Singapore.
I think they do. They really invest on preparing them workshops, exposing them, to maybe traveling overseas to connect with another professor. Maybe sometimes, doing scholarships where they can maybe run a project with the classroom. I would definitely say yes. From my experience in SMU, I know a lot of professors that they were Singaporeans, but they study abroad. They study, maybe many of them, they were coming from universities in America, like Harvard, or Wharton, or UCLA, and that's fantastic. Sometimes even the government scholar those students that are Singaporeans to get those degrees and then come back to this country. Then I will say the government really do invest in this. Yes.
And now finally, let's look into the future. Do you think that education and the degrees will take a turn in the following years? So for example, they will be more practical, like we're trying in Spain, or there will be less years of degree. What do you think?
Yeah. I think there is now an evolution, like society is evolving really fast, but at the same time what we see is it's going to be the companies, the demand of the companies, what is going to tell us what is going to be. Meaning, by today, we don't know the professions in 10 years. Like now, being an influencer is a profession, and we could not picture this 15 years back. And we didn't even have a degree for that, right? Being an influencer. Then definitely we are going to face this change. And I think sometimes the demand of degrees or certificates or masters or MBAs is coming from the companies. It's what they demand, what do they filter to get good employees or employees that will work nicely in their corporations, right? Then this is what I think the change will come from. Not much about the government itself, because we cannot see how far things will go by now yet.
Yeah, that's such an interesting perspective. You're absolutely right. Yes, well, thank you so much, Noelia, for coming to the Spanish Sling.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks to you.
Yes, and thank you for explaining all this kind of different stages of education in such a great way. Thank you so much for coming, and see you soon with more content.